All right. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Trani here. Going to dive into the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. I'm so excited about this. Hopefully you guys are as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Daily Creative Challenges are all about getting you better day by day, because that's how it's done. That's how you become great, is really this day in and day out, slaving away. Just kidding. But it is good to see you here. And today's challenge is all about line art. But let me take a step back and make sure I can see you. So feel free to say hello and all that good stuff. Just waiting for chat to load. You know how it does. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Paul Trani. I'm going to be doing this challenge for over the next 9 days. We're actually taking Memorial Day off. There we are. Here, I see you, Lisa, Wade, Michelle, Kimmy J Designs, Bruce, Umacorn, awesome, Anika. Good to see you all here. Richard as well. Fantastic. And what we're actually doing is we are doing the elements of art. That is the plan. So feel free to go over to the there we go. I'll switch screens, by the way, real fast. Bam. Zoop. Go over to behance.net/challenge/Illustrator. That's usually what I do right in here. This is day one, line art, and thank you so much for joining me. I'll paste that elsewhere, so if you are joining me elsewhere, feel free to go over to behance.net/Adobe Live. All right, so each day you're going to receive a challenge, get involved in the community chat, watch the video or the live show, which is what we're doing right now, and then share your work. It's that easy, right? We can go to community chat. You can click on that. That's done through Discord. Here we are. Bam. If you want that URL, hey, I could switch over and show you that URL as well. If you want the shortcut for that, I can show it to you. So difficult. Why? Where is it? There it is. Sorry, I just moved things around too much. There we go. I know my head's kind of in the way, but Discord, bit.ly/AI Discord. All right, AI Discord, and that's where you can go. And essentially what you see is this right in here. Get involved that way. Of course, you can see the challenge right here. You could always go to that same URL. There we are, which I was just viewing. Get the file, get started, and let's have a good time. All right, so now you guys know what's happening. We can see this file right here. Again, there's nothing in it really, just little headers for each challenge that we have. So let's take a look at that as I make sure music is playing pretty chill. Here we are, bam. This is what the file looks like. And what we're going to do, are you ready for this? Jack Watson's in the house, awesome. We're gonna do the elements of art. So that's what we're gonna do the first week. It's all about line, shape, space, color, value, form, texture. Everything that makes up a design is done with all of these elements. So these are the elements of art. If we skip ahead a little bit, what we're gonna do next week is we're gonna dive into the design principles. So again, this is just an empty document. We're gonna get into the principles of design. So we're gonna learn how to create stuff, and then week 2 is all about putting that content together to making an effective design. So that's the goal. It's all about the elements of art and then principles of design broken up over the course of 2 weeks. Let's get the party started, shall we? Cool. It is a cool topic. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. So right in here, I'm in Illustrator. By the way, this may look different for you. I'm going to go into Workspace. And again, this is for everybody who's brand new. Go to Workspace. You have these different workspaces. Usually it'll be Essentials or Essentials Classic. I personally like Essentials Classic. Look at the difference. Let me go to Essentials Classic. What we get with Essentials Classic is we get this, all the modifiers up here in your options bar, right? That's what it should be called. Let's double check. Oh, excuse me, my control bar. That's what it is, control. Sometimes we call it the options bar, but maybe that's just me. So again, I'm going to get properties up here. I get properties over here, right? So I kind of get the ability to edit this document up at the control bar or off to the side in the properties panel. Okay. Oh, gotta have your own workspace. You are exactly right. Kimmy J Designs. That's right, because this is like too much. Like, there's a lot going on in here, right? So I usually kind of separate these two out. I like having my layers panel. I like being able to see my layers over here. I like having my properties panel. This is how I usually set things up. Like this. Bam, bam. Artboards up here. Bah. I want to know how you guys set yours up. I don't use asset export a lot, so I'm going to close that. But I like it set up like this. I like seeing my layers that I'm working on and the properties for them as well. All right, so which Adobe app am I using? Good question. I am using Adobe Illustrator, just so you know. Using Adobe Illustrator, right? Latest version. So make sure you have that and have it updated and all that stuff. By the way, you'll already see graphics in here as we take a look right up here. Guess what? They're in this layer right here, layer 1. And guess what? It is locked, right? So we could unlock that layer and then access that if I maybe wanted to have the elements of art include spice, line, shape, spice, spices. You get the idea. So that's locked, and we're going to be working in layer 2. So it's a lot like Photoshop in this case. Okay, Jennifer, you like having floating panels? Thank you for mentioning that, because you can have these panels float. So if you're using, say, for instance, this appearance panel, you could pull that out, and obviously you have this floating panel that you can work with if you like, right? Throw this back open, bam, like this, back in here. Now, you ready for this, Steve? We're already gonna like up level this, even though we're on our first day. This stroke panel looks pretty innocent, right? Well, guess what? We can show options, additional options for a lot of these panels, right? So I like to go in here and make sure I'm showing all the options, say, for the stroke. The stroke's going to become important today because we're going to be dealing with line, okay? Now let's dive in and let's have some fun, shall we? Let's just have a good time. Same thing for this toolbar off to the side. Can we just agree that like Illustrator can be a little overwhelming, right? Let's go ahead and expand this to 2 columns. Here's all of the tools. Yours might look different as well. So click right here. You have the ability to edit the toolbar. But if anything ever seems weird, just go down here to the bottom, click right here, right, to expand out to edit the toolbar, and then click right here and you have basic. So let's switch this to the basic. Very innocent looking. And then you also have advanced, right? I personally like advanced 2 columns. Because it actually, with the 2 columns, it enables me to see sort of more of the tools. Okay, totally interested in, you like having floating tools from the toolbar. Interesting. This is fascinating. For each one of these tools, we have additional tools behind them. So as if this panel isn't overwhelming enough, we throw a ton more behind it. Because guess what? How old is Illustrator? How old is it? Is it older than me? Not quite. But it's pretty old. So what, Illustrator 88, that was basically the first version of Illustrator. You could see after 30 years, you really start to add a lot of tools and a lot of capabilities. And not only that, additional options for these tools. Like if you go in here, say for the pencil. So sorry, let's cancel out of that. For the pencil, if you double click on it, hey, guess what? We have additional options. So again, not to overwhelm you, but that's why we do these creative challenges. We're just going to create some line art, create an abstract illustration using the pen and pencil tools. So again, it's just a fun exercise. I'm going to have 2 levels of this, sort of your basic and your advanced as well. So let's have some fun. Let's first off select the pencil tool. Again, a lot of times it might be hidden behind another tool. behind this shaper tool, right? Let's go old school. We're going back to the pencil, right? We trust the pencil, right? We always have undo. And then we'll be aware of our foreground and background color. Okay. All right, used to try to click in the, nice. All right. Haha, Jack. So that's funny. Everybody's talking about how they kind of have panels and they pull them out and they're floating around and it ends up being a mess. I hear ya. I hear ya. Okay, so right in here, we've selected the pencil. We need to make sure that we have this fill and then we have this stroke. As you may know, we can toggle between those just by hitting the X key, right? We could also hit D, the D key, to get it back to the default. So the default is white fill, black stroke. But to be honest with you, I don't want to have a fill of white. And by the way, if I change this, you'll notice, oops. Oh, I know why that's happening. Basically, I want to make sure that there's just nothing in the fill, and then we'll have a black stroke. Are you guys ready for this? So we have this. We're going to create just a fun abstract design. We'll use the pencil. Let's first get familiar with the pencil. Again, we're dealing with the line. We have the pencil. We can draw out like so, right? We can decide to make sort of a mountain scene if we want to, like that. As I draw out, we can see how jagged this gets. If we double click on that pencil tool, we have the ability to get more accurate, right? So we could have it smooth or more accurate. If I change it to accurate, and let's delete that. Let's just go in there and try to create mountains. It is really accurate. So that might work well if we're doing jagged mountains, right? But I might not always want that. The great thing is I could always redraw. So if we double click on the pencil tool, we can see, hey, you know what? Actually, I should make sure, Command H. Keep it selected. So here it is. I'm going to keep it selected. Drawing, oops. Like that. I can redraw this mountain range. Okay, so for this mountain range, if I roll over this line, and right now that's asterisk is saying, hey, I'm going to be a new line. Zip, there it is, sure enough, a new line. But if I roll over this line, boop, it goes away because it says, hey, you know what? You don't want to make a new line. You want to redraw that line that you rolled over. So you could do that, again, if you just make sure you get it within range, Paul. There we go. And we can redraw like that. So there we have our mountains. All right, hopefully you guys get the idea. For the pencil tool, you could always take it down to smooth. So the opposite of that, we have smooth. So maybe we have some less drastic mountains. Maybe we do something like this. Maybe that goes down like that. Maybe we have other mountains that go like that, right? We have some rolling hills. That's what this is going to be good for. Have some rolling hills. Like so. Whoop. Like that. And now we have some nice rolling hills. And again, we're just creating something fun and abstract. Hello, Gus. Right? That is the pencil, right? We could also just create some fun straight lines and get really exact. So click right here. You'll see the line segment tool. If you need just a straight line, we'll use this all the time. The arc tool, the spiral tool, right? We can create all these fun things with these different lines, right? So right in here, we can go ahead and draw holding down the shift key, right? If I don't hold down the shift key, it won't make it straight, but I can make it straight just like that. Boom, there it is. Let's have some fun, people. Okay, we'll take this line. Guess what? Anything we can select, we can copy, paste, delete, do all that fun stuff. It's awesome. Right, I could take this line. Here it is. I want one exactly like it just beneath it. You could do a copy and paste. Command C, Command V. There it is. Right, that's what you do. Selecting this, Command C, Command V. Boom. Right, we could do that all day long. But what does everybody do? You'll just hold down the Option key and you'll drag it out. If you hold down the Option key and drag, you can create as many horizontal lines as you want. You can hold down the Option key and the Shift key. Bam. And there we have maybe 3 lines, and we get these lovely guides that pop up as well. So boom, I can create these 3 lines. Let's create a road really fast. You ready for this, Robert? If Robert's ready, then I'm ready. So we take this line. Is there more that we can do with it? Yeah, heck yeah. Over here, guess what? Here's the stroke. We can change the stroke. right? We could change the color, right? We can change that to say yellow, for instance, if we want to. Any one of these colors if we want to. Super easy. We can go beyond that, because if we click on the underline right here, stroke, boom. Rather than opening up that stroke panel that I showed you earlier and having it float around and getting in the way, just click right there. Now we have access to that stroke. So for this line, we can make it a dashed line. Right, there it is. Sure enough, a dashed line. Do that at like 40 by 40. And there we have a dashed line, say, for a road. And I might just change this to black just so you can see it. But now we have that dashed line. Again, we can control this all we want, right? Just to show you. Boom, there it is. You get the idea. There's our road, okay? Do we have to go through and make a road everywhere? What could we do with this? If I'm doing a lot of lines and changing them this way, is there a smarter way? And no, with Illustrator, typically there is a smarter way, especially if it comes to like repeating elements. So we could take this, and again, this gets a little advanced, but we could take these 3 innocent looking lines, drop them into the brushes panel, right? And we can turn it into a brush. This gets a little advanced, but I wanted to have something advanced for you guys because I know Kimmy J Designs is in here and a lot of other pros. So we can make this a pattern brush. Click OK. And hopefully this gets you excited too, just to know the power of Illustrator. Yeah, create this fun pattern. Turn this one road and adjust the corners. So let's like make sure that corner is auto-centered. It's going to go around. You get the idea, right? And this is my road brush. Click OK. Boom. There's my road brush created with these lovely 3 lines. Let's move these 3 lines off to the side. And then we can select this brush. Select the pencil. And now with that brush selected, we can see we could draw. And sure enough, there's our road. Let's fix this. Let's click on it. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. And here's our lovely road. So now we could have our road winding through our mountains if we want to, or we could just get abstract with it. Let's delete those. Let's have some fun with this road. Yeah. Boom. Boom, there you go. Right, you get the idea. Right, the road that we're going to take in learning Illustrator, right? Winding around, it's going to get crazy, but it's going to be a lot of fun, right? So I encourage you to like, yeah, you can create your own brush. You could start applying all of these brushes. And the cool thing, since I gave you guys this file, it looked empty. Guess what? It's not. Right over here. Yeah, let's change it to something else. Bam, I don't know, ridges. Looks like a blade. Maybe these things with dots. So let's crank this up, right? Again, we could have some fun with all of these fun brushes. You get the idea. We're going to talk about creating these later, but this is going to be really fun. So I have this fun brush now that I can use based on a simple line, right? This is cool. Checking the time. I have 5 minutes. This is so much fun, right? We can kind of redraw. Right, there's that. Maybe one line is like that, another one is like this. Switching to that other line. Changing the color. Ready. And again, my goal is to get you guys excited about what Illustrator can do. Let's change the stroke color to red. Oh, look at that. This is what brushes can do. It's exciting that, hey, you know what? Nothing's ever permanent. Right in here, let's change this stroke color to teal. Right? You could see that we can get some fun things going on using these brushes. Right? Super cool. Play with these all these fun brushes that are in here. Okay? Have fun with them. And make something cool is the goal. All right. All those brushes are in the file. That's exactly right. They're all in here. So have fun with them. Sometimes when they come out black, by the way, maybe it was this one. Whichever one that was. Right? It might look black here. It's because the tint is changing to the color of the stroke. So If you don't see anything, just change the color of that stroke to say red, right? There you are, okay? So we're having so much fun. We're creating some fun abstract artwork, right? We could get more exact with this as well. One thing I'm going to do, and I'll do this really fast. Again, I feel like I'm getting a little bit too pro right now. But right in here, I don't like how this line kind of just gets chopped off right here. Chop. I don't like that chop. Could we have it taper down? Yes, of course we can. We'll go up to the top. We'll click right here. And let's change the width profile, right? And by the way, I did it up here. We can also go... Oh, I guess you can't do it over there. It's not over there. Never mind. Go right up here. Click right here. Boom. There we are. Let's do the same for this one. Boom. Let's make it kind of like vary its thickness. And you get the idea. Cool. Let's say I want to be more exact with this stroke. Will I do some packaging design? That's a good suggestion. I don't currently have it on the schedule, but I could work that into the conversation. Now that we've played with a line, let's go into the pen tool. So this is the other thing. Like, we could have fun with the pencil. If you want to get really exact, it's gonna be helpful to use the pen tool, right? So right in here, I want to be really exact and create some curves around this shape. So I'm gonna click right there. I'm gonna drag up and add another point, and before I let go of my mouse, right, I can add an arch right there. Let's go down right here. Again, I want a very smooth curve. Click and drag like so, right? And now you can see I can adjust these lovely curves later on after I get this line into place. There we are. We have these lovely curves, right? Hopefully you guys are having fun. It's like a headless shake. Is that what it is? A shake? It's like a headless snake. But I'm having fun here, right? So I can manipulate this line. Now, for Illustrator, guess what? Everything is done with math. The basic math of that line is there. So let's switch to outline mode. Whoop. Oh, these are the lines that I've drawn, right? So I could take these and I can use the direct selection tool and come in and manipulate this line. Move this over if it's easier to see. I know lots of people will switch to outline mode just to manipulate their line like I'm doing, kind of smoothing that out, bringing that over, right? Adjusting this line. And guess what? Going back to preview, view, preview, right? So if that's helpful, feel free to do that. But I encourage you to create something abstract. Just have some fun in Illustrator, right? Whether you want to make a brush or use one of the many brushes that I have fun with sort of drawing out those lines, making something unique. And then once you have that done, you can export it out. Now, what I would do is I would turn off, by the way, here's your layers, on, off. We could turn off this top layer, bam, and we could have this artwork display, this weird abstract art. We're just having fun. Again, you can't mess it up, right? And that's what I love about Illustrator. We could change this at any time as well. What, you want it changed? Boom, done, right? Oh, so much fun, everybody. Export that out. Go to File, Export for Screens. Export that out to your desktop, right? And there it is. There's your JPEG. Once you've done that, feel free to upload to Discord. Wait for it. Challenge. Make sure we're in Illustrator. Challenge. Go from there. Drop that in here. Just call it Abstract Line Art Day 1 or whatever you want to do. Upload that and we'll get your... We'll get feedback from you. Does that work for you, everyone? Just have fun drawing and creating. That's what I encourage you to do, right? Again, it's a weird headless snake, I agree, but that's just one of the many brushes that I've already given you sneakily in this file. So do that, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, And I look forward to seeing what you create and working with you over the next 2 weeks. So thank you so much, Bliss and Susan and Bruce and everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.